Welcome back to part 4 of the pencil case project. In this video we are going to continue the model, and in this video we're going to further process the two halves, the top and bottom, to get it looking like a proper car. So follow along. I will swap over to a video now and I'll explain what's going on as we go through the video. So here we have opened Fusion 360. We're now going to import the model that we created in the last video. And this was a hollow model, and we need to make it solid in Fusion 360 before we can work on it further. It was a mesh model, so we're going to open the STL mesh model, and we are first of all going to remesh the model with less faces. The reason being, there's a lot of faces on this model and it slows the computer down a lot unless you reduce the amount of faces on the model. It's a bit like resolution. We are reducing the resolution of the model to make it simpler for the computer to work. Otherwise it will take too long. So we're centering the model first so we can work on it further. And then we're going to remesh the model, and we're going to select a lower resolution for the model, less faces. And this is done by using the reduce command in Fusion 360. And as you can see, we can set the proportion on the right hand side screen there. And after a couple of iterations, we can get to a stage where we're happy that there's enough resolution there for 3D printing, but not too much as to bog down my computer while I'm working with the 3D model. So here we've just changed the model to a mesh mode. So here you can see there are many triangles on this object, lots. So we want to reduce the amount of triangles on this model. And by using this feature here, you can see that the mesh model will be less dense. There's less dense now. So once we get it to a figure we think where it's near enough right, we can save that. And actually, you need to save your models quite regular with Fusion 360 because I've had a lot of crashes. But I've called this top with reduced faces, which means I've got the resolution to a good figure that I want. The next thing we need to do is to make this model solid. To do that, we use convert mesh, and we use the parametric method. So we select the body, and now we pressed OK, and we're now going to save that as a solid body. And we're going to call this solid, just so we can reference. These are basically points you save along the way while you're using Fusion 360. So at any time, if we make a mistake, we can always go back. You can see on the left hand side where it says top reduced face with reduced faces, we're now on version 2. And as we go through, these versions will increase. On the bottom of the screen, you can see the progress is recorded as you're going along. And as you can see now, I've started a sketch on the bottom of the model. And this sketch is marking out where I want the cutout to be in the top of the model. And we're going to cut a square out here and make it sort of hollow to accept any pencils or anything you want to put in there, really. And you'll see as we go along, we have to, in Fusion 360, everything has to be dimensioned. And once everything turns black, the lines, which are blue now on the rectangle, they have to turn black. When they turn black, that means they have been fixed and they are correct and they won't move, which is what we're aiming for. Defined the sketch completely. All the lines are black. This is now ready for extruding once we've got the dimensions we need. And here we're going to use the extrude command to extrude a cut into the top solid of the object. And once we finish this command, this will have a hole cut in the top of the body, as you can see here. I'm now going to use the fillet command to round off the edges within this cut square, so it just looks a little bit neater and it's nicer to print like that. So this rectangle was created, and I'm going to put circles on the corner of every single corner of this rectangle once I've defined the dimensions. So now we have it fully defined. We can now draw the circles on each corner of this rectangle. This will be where the pins will be placed, the location pins. The top half will have holes and the bottom half will have the pins. But as you will see later, I scrapped that idea and I changed it to a different method, which you will see later on in the video. And I think in the next video we will make the wheels, and we'll probably be at a stage where we're going to be doing a test print. Now we have finished drawing the circles, we finished the sketch, and now we need to extrude the circles into cones like so. And I'm going to extrude it as a cut, which means that this will cut into the body. As you can see there, we've now created the holes where the pins will locate from the bottom section. And here is just a very quick show what the top of the car will look like. So moving on to the bottom, here we go. So the bottom, the method is exactly the same. We've made the bottom half into a solid by using the same procedure as we did for the top. And we're going to create a sketch on the top surface of the bottom half of this car. So we're just moving the top out of the way while we work on the bottom. It's more convenient. Here, as you can see, we've already drawn the sketch on this one. I'll speed it up a bit. And we've extruded the pins. The methods here are used exactly the same as we did for the top half of the car. Once extruded, these 4 pins will locate into the top 4 pin holes, which we previously made in the top half of the car. So now we're creating 2 offset faces, one to the right and one to the left. These are going to be used to draw the wheels and anything on the side of this object. So we use these planes to draw objects on that, and we can extrude them into objects or into cuts. If we extrude it into an object from that plane, we get a solid body such as the wheels. So we drew a circle on the plane and we extruded the wheel as a solid, and then the holes where the axles are, we extruded them into the body of the car using the cut command to get the holes in. It's a bit difficult to explain, and it's not very easy to explain in a half an hour. This is something that would have to be done over a longer period of time to explain exactly the details of how I did this. This is just very briefly a brief video of how it was done, so people can see just what's involved in doing something of this nature. So there we have one side of the car done, and we've also hollowed out the bottom as well. And we're now going to work on the plane on the right hand side of the car to draw the wheels again on this side and do the extrusions the same as we did on the other side, and we should have the same result. And when we get there, I'll explain what happens next. Fusion 360 is a very powerful tool. There are a couple of tools you can use for working with 3D models. You can do very simple models with Tinkercad, which is an online program based on the internet browser. You log into the browser, create an account. You can make simple sort of objects and things with it. And you can also do electrical designs and things like that as well. So it's quite a powerful tool. But Fusion 360 is a lot more advanced. You can work with 3D meshes and a lot of other things as well. But we're doing some basic stuff here. So I'd recommend, if you want to try and get into 3D modeling, go for Fusion 360. Start off with a bit of Tinkercad if you've never done it before, and then download yourself a copy of the Fusion 360, which is free if it's not used for business purposes, and have a go. Well, that's all I did. I'm no expert, but I work it out. So as you can see, we're getting on with creating the wheels on the other opposite side of the car. We're now going to do the extrusions. We've nearly got all the wheels on. We've only got to do that last wheel on the back. I hope you can see, once you get the hang of it, it is quite easy, and it's just a straightforward process of doing one task, then another task, another task, and building on it. Here I'm creating a sketch on the wheel so that I can use this to extrude into the wheel to remove a section of the wheel. I'm doing this on both wheels. What I'm planning to do, the reason I've got holes in there, the wheels you can see there will rest solidly on the floor, and there will be a center shaft coming through the wheel with a disc on the outside, which is slightly smaller than the diameter of the wheel. Therefore, it will be solid on the floor, but you can spin the wheels around manually without affecting the stability of the box. Clear as mud now, but it will all come clear in the end. So here we're going to extrude the holes for the axles. And basically we're doing a cut extrusion to a face. In Fusion 360 you can cut to a distance or to an object. And on that occasion there I used cut to a face. I didn't know the exact dimension to how far I wanted it to go. So we've nearly done all the wheels. As you can see, they're going to be solid to the bottom part of the car. They won't move, but the discs that we insert in there on axles will move. And there's the completed car, top and bottom. And the top fits within where the wheels are. So what I've done here, I've had to cut out the top section to match the profile of the bottom wheel, so that when you lift it up, it interlocks and the wheel arches will go over the wheels. I hope that's clear, but you'll see what you can see what I've done there. You can see the wheel arch shown there on the picture. As you can see, the 4 pins there, because I'm using the wheel arches now as locations for the top part, I don't need these, so I suppressed them in the timeline at the bottom of the screen. They're still there. I can use them again in future, but I don't want them visible on the model currently. So here I'm just showing you the 2 halves lifted up. There's the bottom half of the car with the 4 wheels attached, with the top body lifted up. And as you can see, the top half is all cut out, which matches the bottom half of the model. And also the bottom half is cut out also and that's where you can place all your pencils or anything you like, and hide a bit of cash in there if you wish. I'm also here doing the filleting on the bottom section, the same as what I did with the top, so the inside edges are rounded so nothing gets stuck in the corners. And again, with Fusion 360, it makes it very, very easy to do that. That's something you can't do with Tinkercad very easily at all. There's the finished car. So one last thing here is the cross section of the car. And there you can see the hollow in the middle, the wheels on the back. If we take it back a little bit, you'll see this is only half of the car. There's the hollow, there's the wheels. That's the car nearly done. So there you have it, part 4 of the pencil case project. We've now got the top and bottom half of the pencil case completed. Now all we have to do is make the wheels and we're ready for printing. So if you would like to see the next video, it should be done within about 1 week. I should have that finished. So yeah, thank you for your time, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.